There are some betrayals that break your heart. And then there are betrayals that break your entire understanding of who you are. Mine started with a check, a very large check. But it didn't end with money. It ended with a wedding dress. And me standing at the back of a church holding a folder full of truth. My name is Vivian. And 3 years ago, I inherited $2 million from my grandmother. She was the only person who ever truly believed in me. When she died, she left me everything. Not because I was greedy. Because she knew my husband, Marcus, had been slowly draining our savings for years. She saw what I refused to see. The day the lawyer called, Marcus was sitting across from me at our kitchen table. When I hung up and told him the amount, his eyes changed. They went from tired and bored to hungry. $2 million, he whispered. Viv, we're rich. I remember feeling happy, naive. I thought this money would save our marriage. We had been struggling, not financially, but emotionally. Marcus had grown distant, cold. He worked late. He stopped kissing me goodnight. He looked at his phone more than he looked at me. But I told myself it was stress. Every marriage has rough patches, right? I was wrong. Within a month of receiving that inheritance, Marcus became a different person. He quit his job without telling me. He started wearing new suits. He bought a sports car. He said we were investing the money. He said he was building our future. And I believed him. Because I wanted to believe him. Because admitting that your husband is stealing from you is admitting that you married a monster. The money was in a joint account. I know, stupid. But Marcus had convinced me that we're a team and married people share everything.
I signed the papers.
I trusted him. 6 months later, my grandmother's entire legacy was gone. I didn't realize it at first. Marcus had been slowly transferring funds to accounts I didn't know about. He had opened a separate business, a real estate venture, in his name only. He had bought property, a cabin in the mountains, a condo in the city, and he had done it all with my inheritance. The day I found out, I was checking our online banking. The balance was zero. Not low, zero. I stared at the screen, refreshed it, checked again. Then I called Marcus. He didn't answer. So I called his office. They said he had quit 6 months ago. 6 months. He had been pretending to go to work every day. He had been kissing me goodbye every morning, driving to a coffee shop, and planning his new life without me. That night, he came home at 11 p.m. I was sitting in the dark living room. Marcus, I said, where's the money? He froze, just for a second. Then he smiled, that charming smile that had made me fall in love with him. Viv, I've been meaning to talk to you. I've made some investments. Big ones. We're going to be even richer. You just need to trust me. The account is empty. $2 million. Gone. It's not gone. It's working for us. I asked to see the statements. He refused. I asked for the name of his financial advisor. He changed the subject. I asked him straight to his face, did you steal from me? And he looked me in the eyes, the man I had shared a bed with for 7 years, and said, you're being paranoid. This is why I didn't tell you. You can't handle the big picture. He gaslighted me, made me feel crazy, ungrateful, small. I spent 2 weeks crying, apologizing, begging him to let me into his investments. He gave me nothing. And then one morning I woke up and he was gone. Not just gone, disappeared. His clothes were still in the closet. His toothbrush was still in the bathroom. But he wasn't answering his phone. His car wasn't in the driveway. I filed a missing person report. The police came. They asked questions. They promised to look into it. 3 days later, a mutual friend called me. Her voice was strange. Vivian, you need to look at Marcus's social media. I didn't have social media. I had deleted it years ago because Marcus said it was toxic. So I logged in from my laptop, and there he was. A photo of Marcus, smiling, wearing a white suit. Standing next to a woman in a wedding dress, the caption read, best day of my life with my beautiful wife, Elena. Wife, not me, wife. He had remarried, in another state, with my money. And I hadn't even known we were divorced. That was the moment the crying stopped. The shaking stopped. The feeling of being small stopped. Because Vivian didn't die that day. She got angry. I didn't confront him right away. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't show up at his new house and scream. I did something much more dangerous. I started collecting evidence. First, I hired a forensic accountant. Expensive, but worth it. Within 2 weeks, she had traced every single dollar from my inheritance, the transfers, the fake business, the properties bought in Marcus's name and in his new wife's name. Apparently, he had met Elena 6 months before he took the money. She was a real estate agent. Together, they had planned everything. She knew about the inheritance. She knew about me, and she didn't care. Second, I hired a private investigator. He followed Marcus for 3 weeks, took photos, recorded conversations, found out that Marcus had forged my signature on divorce papers. Yes, forged. I had never signed anything. He had hired a woman to pretend to be me at a lawyer's office, signed the papers, and filed for divorce without my knowledge. In the state where he filed, you don't need to notify the spouse if you claim abandonment. He told the court I had left him. He said I had taken the money and run. He painted himself as the victim, and the court believed him because he was good at lying. He had always been good at lying. While all of this was happening, I was living alone in our empty house. The house that my grandmother had helped us buy. The house that Marcus had promised to protect. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping. I would sit in the dark and replay every moment of our marriage. Every time he said, "I love you," every time he held my hand, every time he made me laugh. Was any of it real? I don't think so. I think Marcus married me because my grandmother was wealthy. I think he waited for her to die, and when she did, he took everything. The hardest part wasn't the money. It was the realization that I had never been loved. I had been used. For 7 years, I was just a placeholder until the check cleared. My lawyer, the best I could afford, told me I had a strong case. Fraud, forgery, theft, emotional distress. He said we could sue Marcus for everything, plus damages. But I didn't just want the money back. I wanted him to feel what I felt. The confusion, the betrayal, the moment your entire world turns into a lie. So I waited. I watched Marcus and Elena from a distance. They bought a beautiful house in the mountains. They posted photos of their vacations, Hawaii, Paris, Italy, all funded by my grandmother's life savings. The woman who raised me, the woman who worked 2 jobs so I could go to college. And Elena? She posted everything. Engagement photos, wedding photos, honeymoon photos. In one of them, Marcus is holding a glass of champagne, toasting the camera. The caption said, "Cheers to our fairy tale." I laughed when I saw that. A cold, hard laugh. Because fairy tales don't end well for the villains, I decided to crash their ending. I found out they were throwing a second wedding celebration, a big party at their mountain house. About 100 guests, family, friends, coworkers who had no idea Marcus was already married to me. I risked, under a fake name, of course. The day of the party, I drove up to the mountains. I wore a simple black dress, not flashy, not trying to compete with the bride, just present. In my hand, I carried a folder, the folder. Inside were copies of everything. The bank statements, the forged divorce papers, the photos from the private investigator, the forensic accountant's report, and one more thing, a letter from my grandmother, written before she died. She had given it to her lawyer with instructions to hand it to me if I ever woke up. I had never read it until that morning. It said, "Vivian, my darling, if you're reading this, you've finally seen the truth. Don't be sad. Be smart. And remember, money comes and goes, but dignity, that's yours forever." I tucked the letter into the folder, took a deep breath, and walked up the driveway. The party was beautiful, white, tents, string lights, a live band playing soft music. Elena looked stunning in a cream-colored gown. Marcus was laughing with friends, clinking glasses, playing the role of the happy husband. I stood at the edge of the crowd. No one recognized me. I was just another guest. Until I walked straight to the center of the tent. Marcus saw me first. His smile froze. Then it dropped. His face went pale. The same pale I had seen when he realized I knew about the money. "Vivian," he whispered. Elena turned. She looked at me, then at Marcus, then back at me. "Who is this?" "I'm his wife," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The music stopped. The conversation stopped. 100 people turned to stare. Marcus grabbed my arm. "Not here, not now." I shook him off, opened the folder, and I started reading. I read the bank statements out loud. Every transfer, every date, every lie. On March 12th, Marcus transferred $400,000 to an account in his name only. On April 3rd, he purchased a property in the mountains for $650,000. On May 22nd, he paid $85,000 for a wedding that wasn't legal because he was still married to me. Elena's face went from confused to horrified. She looked at Marcus. "You told me you were divorced." "I am," he said. "She's lying." I pulled out the forged divorce papers. I showed them to the crowd. He signed my name. He paid someone to pretend to be me. This divorce is fake. Our marriage is still legal, and every penny he spent was stolen. A man in the back, who I later learned was Elena's father, stood up. "Is this true, Marcus?" Marcus didn't answer. He just stared at me. His eyes were wild, desperate. "Vivian, please, we can work this out privately." "We're past private, Marcus. You took 7 years of my life. You took my grandmother's legacy. You took my trust, and you replaced me with someone half my age, using my own money to pay for her ring." I turned to Elena. I didn't hate her. She was a victim too, just a different kind. "He'll do the same to you," I said. "When your money runs out, when someone younger comes along, he'll erase you too." She started crying. Her mother rushed to her side. Marcus tried to follow, but Elena's father blocked him. "Get out," the father said. Marcus looked around the room. His friends wouldn't meet his eyes. His new in-laws were staring at him like he was garbage. His perfect party, built on stolen money, was crumbling around him. He walked past me, so close I could smell his cologne. The same cologne he wore when he kissed me goodbye every morning before pretending to go to work. "You destroyed me," he whispered. "No, Marcus. You destroyed yourself. I just handed everyone the receipts." He left. The party ended. Elena went home with her parents. The guests dispersed, whispering. I stayed for a moment. Looked at the empty tents, the half-eaten cake, the champagne glasses still full. Then I walked back to my car and drove home. The legal battle took 8 months. But with the evidence I had, Marcus didn't stand a chance. The court annulled his fake marriage. He was ordered to repay every single dollar, plus interest and legal fees. The house in the mountains was sold. The condo was sold. The car was sold. He ended up with nothing. No money, no wife, no reputation. Elena divorced him within weeks. I heard she moved back to her hometown and started over. I wish her well. She wasn't my enemy. She was just another person he's lied to. As for me, I got my grandmother's money back, but I didn't keep it. I used it to start a scholarship in her name for young women who want to study finance and law, so they can protect themselves, so they never have to feel as stupid and blind as I did. I also bought a small house, just for me. No husband, no joint accounts, nowhere team speeches. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm not lonely. I'm just free. And here's what I learned from all of this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Marcus showed me he was greedy. He showed me he was secretive. He showed me he didn't value me, but I ignored it because love made me deaf. Don't be me. Protect your money. Protect your name. Protect your heart. But never, ever protect someone who is stealing from you, whether it's money, time, or dignity. My grandmother wrote in her letter, "Money comes and goes, but dignity is yours forever." She was right. Marcus took my money. He took my years. He tried to take my future, but he never got my dignity. Because I walked into that party with my head held high, a folder full of truth, and the quiet power of a woman who had finally stopped being afraid. And that is the best revenge there is. Not loud, not violent, just true.